Welcome to Mobility Workout 2. I'm Katie Hunt, your ACSM personal trainer, and we're going to begin on our feet at the edge of your mat with inchworm roll-ups. Begin with your feet about hip distance. Drop your head forward, chin towards your chest. Slowly roll your spine down. Reach those hands to the ground. When your hands hit the ground, walk your hands towards the front edge of your mat. Hold there for a moment, brace your core, and then slowly walk your feet to your hands as close as you can. Then walk your feet back out away from your hands, and then slowly step your hands towards your feet. When your hands meet your feet again, curl yourself back up. Take your time on these. We're going to do 5. Inchworm roll-ups are excellent for the back sides of your legs, in particular your hamstrings. They're also going to work your ankle mobility and your shoulders. If you choose, you can make this a little bit harder by when you come down into your high plank, you can actually step your hands out little by little, a little further from your feet, so your wrists are no longer directly underneath your shoulders. Only take that option if you want a little extra core work. All right, I'm about to finish number 2, rolling up slowly. Let's add a little arm sweep overhead so we get a little bonus for the shoulders there. All right, round 3, I'm rolling down, slowly walking my hands out away from my feet, taking them one step further. Again, that's just an option, not mandatory. Then small steps, feet towards my hands, bringing my heels to the floor as soon as I can. That's not mandatory either, but drop your heels down to the floor if you can. Back to the plank, then walking my hands to my feet, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, sweeping the arms overhead, enjoying that. Okay, number 4, roll forward, hands to the floor, small steps out away from the feet, find your high plank, zip up those abs. Then small steps, feet towards your hands. If you're able to get your feet flat, try to touch the heels down first. You could pause there for a minute in that forward fold. It's kind of tasty. All right, then walking the feet back out, high plank, then hands to your feet. Roll it up one vertebrae at a time. Head's the last thing to rise. Then the arms come overhead, biceps by the ears. Last one, drop the chin to chest. Roll down slowly. Walk the hands out away from the feet. Find your high plank. You're so strong. Then slowly take the feet towards your hands. There's your forward fold. Heels on the ground if possible. Oop, drop your head there. My neck always wants to over-respond. Walk those feet away from your hands. Strong high plank. Then one hand at a time, walking back to your feet, roll up, take it slow. Chin rises, arms overhead. All right, you did it. Come down to the ground on your back for knee drops. All right, so our knees are bent, feet are flat, arms at our sides. You can separate the feet a little wider than your hips. Then all we're gonna do is 20 times, we're gonna rock the knees from one side to the other. Move with your breath on these. And just notice as you work through these, you might find that your knees end up getting closer to the ground. It's not a contest though, we're just giving the hips some attention. Rocking side to side, possibly noticing if you feel like the stretch travels up through your shoulders at all. Something to be aware of. Move your way through 20 of these. Beautiful. Now we're going to come up to a seated position and work almost the same thing, but from seated. So sit up tall, arms are straight, kind of lift your heart forward, and then keeping the backside on the ground and the chest lifted, chin up, rock your knees from side to side. Same idea as the last knee drops. Don't press yourself into it or force your knees down to the ground. Just let them fall where they fall naturally. And again, noticing how this changes as you move through your 20 reps. Keep your breathing and movement as loose and smooth as you can. You might even find that it's more comfortable to take your feet a little wider than mine are here. See if that feels better or if you get more range of motion. All right, let's move on. Alternating lizards are our next mobility adventure. Begin in a high plank, hands spread out wide, wrists underneath your shoulders. Step both feet back into a high plank. Then one leg at a time, you're gonna step your foot up as close to the outside of your hand as you can get it. Let's see if we can bring some awareness to lifting our chest or our heart forward. If it feels good to you, spend a little more time on one side. Just like our knee drops, let's emphasize concentrating on what feels different from side to side. We'll make our way through 20 of these, 10 on each side. If you need more control or these are super difficult, you could work from a tabletop position and then sweep your knee out to the side. If you need a more advanced version, you could work this mobility drill from your forearms so you'd be closer to the ground. I love doing these before I squat. It's a great way to open the hips and prepare them for squats. All right, here's a quick little demo of, you could also use blocks for this exercise. So here I'm showing that tabletop position where I'm actually elevated up on blocks. So I'm moving one leg side to side. I'm loving this modification. It feels great. Take that if you need it. Okay, last mobility drill of the day. We're gonna do a frog. This one's amazing. Stick with me though. It looks a little weird. Maybe even looks a little scarier than it is. So from your tabletop, walk your knees out away from the midline of your body. Then begin to gently rock back and forth. Go slow into this one. We never want to force range of motion. If you can handle a little bit more, you can come down to your forearms. Notice points of contact here. My knees are touching the floor and I've got my feet turned so that my toes are pointing away from the midline of my body. Continue to move using your breath. And maybe you inhale forward, exhale back, pausing in that backwards position. This is a great and super important mobility drill. Think of your hips as the crossroads of your body. We want to keep the hips really healthy for a fully functional body. Continue to move, trying to smooth it out. See if you can find some enjoyment in this one. Maybe make a frog noise or two. Whatever helps. It's not the most comfortable for a lot of us. So again, don't force it. Look for that edge of the stretch, that edge of tension. Ride it there. You'll find, like the other exercises we've done so far, that your range of motion might change. All right, you made it. Thank you for being here. If you found this valuable, two options. Share it with a friend that you think it might help, and subscribe so that you get my new videos first. I'll see you next workout.